morning. Welcome to the Daily Echo. It is Monday, May 18th. We're going to start the week out on a topic that I think could benefit all of us. A great book is Principle-Centered Leadership by Covey. And in this book, Stephen goes through a diagram that he actually uses in most of his other books. And if you think of a sphere, a circle, I'll give you a little example here. There's a circle there. There you go. Good example. Each one of us have a center in our life at certain times and in certain places. We have to be really careful what those centers are. I'm going to talk about some of the centers that you may know somebody that this is the center of their universe. You know somebody that's money-centered? Everything they do revolves around money. The decisions they make are how can I get more? Everything that they do in life, that center is money. How about self? A lot of people are self-centered. Everything it's about me, it's about me, it's about me. How about possessions? Well, I have a bigger house, I have more cars, I have this or this. Decisions are made. If I don't have a bigger house, what do I feel? I feel inadequate. I don't measure up. I'm broken. I'm not as good as that person. This is what happens when our centers become things and our centers become people. We've got to be really careful. Even a spouse center. We don't want to be spouse centered because then everything that we're doing in life sometimes is not even to better that person. We're just making decisions based upon our spouse as opposed to the right decision. So the title of today's echo is What Should Our Center Be? Our center should be principles, honesty, integrity, humility, charity. All of these should be our centers because when we get away from people-centered and things-centered and we start to make decisions based upon what is universally right, then it's going to benefit everybody around us, and it's not going to hold us hostage. When we become center of any of these things in our life, we become held hostage by that very thing that is our center. And I know kids sometimes will grow up and they will be parent-centered. And people say, what's wrong with being parent-centered? Well, children do everything that they can to be validated, to be appreciated, for their parents to say, great job. And they're going to do some good things. But the motive is to get the approval from the parents, not to do the right thing at the right time all of the time. And I think sometimes in family environments, when a child is not given credit or when one child is ruled out a lot of times, maybe parents sometimes we cause that behavior to become more apparent because that child thinks that the greatest thing in life is to get approval from his or her parents. We need our youth to learn that the most important thing is that they're driven by principles. I'm going to give you one last one. People would say church-centered. What's wrong with being church-centered? Because if you believe the church you attend is filled with what you should be doing the right way all of the time, love your neighbor, do the things right. Sometimes when people get church-centered, they're only concerned with the appearance of the people in their congregation or their church that sees who they are. So they put the suit on, they put the tie on, they show up on Sundays and they look the part and they may even act the part. But beneath that center, they're not doing the things that they need to be doing. They're doing things on Sunday, but Monday through Saturday, they may not be living up to true principles that their very religion teaches them. And so even being church-centered, which you would think is a great thing, no, we don't want that. We want to be principle-centered. That's why this book's called Principle-Centered Leadership. So we want to get used to that in our lives, that true principles guide and direct us. Stephen Covey talks about true principles. They are like a compass. They will always direct you in the right path if you consistently choose those. And if you have true principles as your center, you'll find that there's going to be times that they'll line up with another center you might have. You want to be liked by your friends. But you know what? Being honest is more important. And sometimes you may lose some friends by being honest. But in the long run, choosing that center of principles, you will come out way ahead. Believe me, true principles always prove themselves. They always validate themselves later in life. It's just like the law of gravity. You can believe it does not exist, and you can get on top of the Empire State Building and jump. And all you're going to do is validate that it does exist and it is a true principle. The same thing with true principles in our life like honesty, integrity, hard work. We only validate those things as we make those our center in our life. So it's a challenge. As you go through the week, think of some decisions you make. Am I making those based out of a center that is not a principle center? Am I making it because of a center of a friend, a spouse, a family member, work, money? Or am I making these decisions based upon my center of true principles? It's a difficult thing and it takes time. Stephen Covey says these are working on the roots We're not working on the branches, we're working on our roots, and that's tough work. It takes years sometimes. So try to just get in that mindset of determining why you do the things you do during the day. And then once we become aware, awareness allows us to be able to change. Have a great Monday, Magnificent Monday. We'll be coming back at you again tomorrow on Tremendous Tuesday. As always, thanks for taking time to watch the Daily Echo.